That sounds great.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of That Sounds Great with Khash G. We're here recording at The Cube, the home of producers in London. Today, we have a very special guest on the show, as usual, but today's guest is even more special because they are the last guest we're going to be having on season 1 of That Sounds Great, the podcast. G, tell us a bit more about the guest.
Well, guys, welcome, and I'm super excited for today's guest. So today's awesome guest is an engineer, mixer, tracking engineer, amazing person overall, who's worked with Lil Baby, you know, as Shebib, as you may know, and I want to introduce Angie. Angie, welcome to today's episode.
Thank you guys for having me. I love that intro. That was so sweet of you guys. Thank you.
Nice, all good. Look, so I've done my intro, Khash has done his, but we always ask our guests to give an introduction to themselves. So if I can ask you, Angie, please give me a little introduction to who is Angie.
Well, Angie, yeah, so like you had said, pretty much now mainly working with Lil Baby, but it just started off with like a love for music. I had originally, from Montreal, I had made that leap. I moved to Toronto, and that's where I really pursued my studies. So I ended up pursuing business and engineering. I really just fell in love with being in the studio. So I had the amazing opportunity coming out of school to work with, and be mentored by Noah 40 Shebib. So who really became obviously a big brother and mentor to me. And, thanks to him and everything I learned under his wing, I ended up just, moving to Atlanta now and just working with Lil Baby, helping him out with his project. Like I was telling you guys, I'm on tour right now. So we've been locked in, and I'm, more grateful than ever. So.
Wow. And are you just specify, are you tracking or mixing, or are you doing kind of everything under the spectrum, or?
For the most part right now we're just locked in just tracking, because he loves to record, and I'm just right now, even with being on tour, you want to just make him comfortable. So I'll be traveling around with them and just kind of setting up my rig wherever we're at, whether it's a tour bus, hotel room, studios on road, just making sure that, even though we're moving around so much, we can still lock in and, get his ideas out and still continue working on the album.
Nice. Wow. Nice. And you've got a little tour setup that you've got with you?
Yeah, I got my little rig. Nothing too crazy because, we're moving around a lot. So it's pretty much whatever can fit in one of those alligator cases. But, a little set of, close reference monitors. I got my headphones, very simple chain. I got to pick up a little 500 series. So I'm going to have that going through some little analog gear as well. But for the most part, yeah, just running everything off my laptop into my Apollo.
Damn, nice. That sounds awesome. So, and tell us a little bit more about the educational side and how that's helped form your career.
It was definitely helpful because, starting off young, I've always loved music, listened to everything under the sun, played instruments. But, when I really was, serious about it, saying, okay, I want to make this a career. How can I go ahead and, actually make that a reality? When I went to school, it was originally, with a passion for A&R. That's why I wanted to do the business and engineering sides of it. Just really to be as well-rounded in the industry as possible. And then once I did my second year, really learning the technical side, it was very new to me. But once I actually started learning how to run stuff in the studio, how that stuff works, opening up Pro Tools for the first time, right? That's when I started being oh shit, this is super dope. I really fell in love with being in the studio, and the more I learned about it, the more I wanted to learn about it. And then I started realizing damn, this is some shit I want to take to that next level. And it was rare too. I was one of the only girls in my class. And so that was kind of one of those things that really inspired me too. Cause I was damn, if I'm gonna know this shit, I'm gonna know it. And I was just really, really just motivated and I was just hungry to learn. So I guess once I started realizing that, I'm yeah, my passion definitely lies with the technical side.
Wow. That's actually amazing. And now I'm guessing you know all your shortcuts on Pro Tools and you're a wizard. So.
Oh yeah, that was that was the biggest thing. I was okay, being in school, obviously they teach you, right? Any studio you go to, you can be versed. I learned in school, we were working with Ableton, Cubase, Reason, all these different programs. But the one that they're you got to know this one was obviously always Pro Tools. So when I was there, I was all right, I'm going to take this shit to the next level. I was I got certified and everything. I was I want to know Pro Tools, the same way you said, you got to be a ninja with that shit. So it's I want to know Pro Tools the back of my hand.
Yeah, 100%. And a quick question on kind of so building a brand. Obviously, you're from Montreal. And you've built a brand for yourself as well, right? And a name for yourself in the industry, let's say. So can we just maybe touch on exactly them steps and how you kind of start? I know you said you started in school and then you went to Noah Shebib. So how did that kind of come about? Did you move to Toronto and then kind of did you know someone who knew the team, or was it kind of you interned somewhere? How did that?
Yeah, so I started off as an intern with 40.
Oh, okay.
That's really how I got my start. Yeah, I've always my love for, especially in Toronto or the Canadian music scene, it's really run. It's OVO XO. That's pretty much the main sound for hip hop. At least that's the main sound coming out of Toronto. And I was always just fixated on OVO. I was like, man, like I just love the way they were running their ship, and like looking at how far 40 has come. Like I was always super. He's definitely one of my biggest inspirations. So it's like I was definitely super driven towards that. So being able to intern coming out of school right away and learn under him, it was dope because it's like you learn a lot in school, but the stuff I learned from him, that was the stuff that like I'm still applying to this day.
Yeah, that's what we speak about that a lot, about the fact that, you know, in education you learn a lot of the technical stuff, but you don't necessarily get always the hands-on experiences, right? And I think especially, I mean, what a name drop that is, Noah 40, right? Drake's producer and all sorts. So having him to be your sort of mentor must have been insane. I mean, you must have learned things you would have never dreamt of at university, I'd imagine. Exactly,
yeah. It's still surreal to me. Like he's definitely one of like the most genuine, humble people. Like I'm so grateful just to be able to like even just have that line to be able to like, you know, if ever I got a question, whatever, even advice, like I really just hit him, and like he's been like one of the biggest supports through all of it. So I definitely, I gotta give him his flowers whenever it's due, because that's my guy right there.
And of course, he's been flying the Pro Tools, making beats in Pro Tools flag for a very long time.
Yeah,
there's not a lot of people make beats in Pro Tools, and he is one of them. He's a goat. He's flying that flag real high.
Exactly. Yeah, no, he's ridiculous. He's a genius, like crazy talented.
So how did you get your foot in the door within that internship in the first place? Like how did you get in there?
It was kind of, like, because it was very known that that's really what I wanted to do coming out of school. It was kind of like a mixture of, they have a very good relationship with the school. So Drake's engineer, Noel, he actually graduated from that same school. And they had done all of, like, Drake's earlier stuff at the studios.
Oh, okay.
That the school was based at. So, yeah, they ended up, they've always had, like, a very good relationship. And when the head of the school was talking to 40, and 40 was kind of looking for interns, my name had come up, and we just went ahead, did the interview.
Wow.
And then I just started interning there. And then right around the time that we started working on Party Next Door's album, that's when I got hired full time.
Wow. And is that something that they're still doing now to this day, or was that just like a limited time thing that they had these kind of interns going on?
I know he was like, it's rare because it's like one of those studios that it's not a commercial spot. No one even really knows the location. It is very hidden. But it's like mainly just the artists that are on the label, or just, you know, very good close friends. If they're in town, if they're in Toronto, they'll definitely go through. But for the most part, it's like, it's definitely not open to the public. So they don't take interns that frequently because it's not that busy. But I guess I really just got in, like the timing of it was great.
Wow. Your timing was impeccable.
Yeah.
Wow.
And your skills, clearly. I mean, they must have seen something in you to take you on as an intern, I'd imagine. Did you have like a proper interview process? Well, I bet you must have been shaking, right?
Yeah, that was definitely like, because I've always dreamed, that was my dream, right? So I was like, okay, this is the moment, right? So I went in like, I brought everything. I didn't know what they were going to ask, but I came prepared with everything just in case. And it was dope. But yeah, it was definitely one of those things that like I said, I learned the majority of my stuff definitely from 40. Like everything he's been like applying throughout the years. Yeah, I'm just grateful. It just comes down to that. I'm really just grateful.
Wow, it's amazing. And obviously just touching on the skills and lessons that you learned in the studio specifically, like I just want to really touch on, was it tracking side of things more? Was it the mixing side? Was it learning about more plugin use, or kind of what exactly, kind of just going into a little bit more depth as to what you learned from being in that studio?
Being specifically with 40?
Yeah, like just generally, like with 40 in that studio, the OVO team and everyone. Was it like more the business side? Did you learn how to like make a brand for yourself, or kind of like just tracking?
It was everything? Very. Oh, my bad. Sorry, there's like a little bit of a lag. My bad. But yeah, no, it was very like technical based more than business for sure, because we were just like, they have obviously the label, but like where we were located was at Soda Studios. And like the way his studio is pretty much a spaceship. Like that's the best way to put it. Like people coming through don't really know how to run it. Like he's running gear that like the first time I'll ever see it is always through him. Like shit that no one else will have. Like, so it's really, really dope. My hunger to learn more definitely came from just seeing how he was always just on the ball with just knowing what's next and just being ahead of the curve. So that's a big thing. But I've seen him, like you said, like, you know, he'll make beats in Pro Tools. So I've seen his process with that. I've seen them mix projects. So a lot of the mixing, you know, tips and tricks, I've seen that through him. Obviously through tracking, it varies with artists, you know, and I've seen how the different setups change based on the person you're recording. So that's a big thing I learned from him too. Wow. But I really think like everything over the board, like he's a genius. He really does everything from A to B. Like
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I had my first chat with him as well a while ago, and he was showing me like his outboard gear and like how the outboard gear was, and just it was just insane. Certain points from different compressors I like being used in another one, like it was literally genius. Where I was like,
I was gonna say you have to be a
Dude,
genius to be able to set it up
that
like
is
that.
mad. Like that's another level up. But you think, wow, it's like soldering. There's a whole. I mean, the bit in the back, right? With is it Gadget? I think. Or
Yeah, they got Gadget, Less. Those are like
exactly.
goats
Yeah,
for
exactly.
sure.
Yeah, and like that's another level, like complete another level. And it's beautiful to see because you're not just stopping at what you get. You're basically making the audio gear even more, and I think that's inspiring. Definitely.
Oh yeah,
he's-
for sure.
I mean, there's a reason why he's got to where he's got, and he gets the sounds that he gets, right? And without
Exactly.
without 40, who knows where Drake would be today, right? It's hard to say, genuinely. But it's ever so inspiring to hear about that. So, from moving from 40 to current, some of the people you're working with now. What was it like when you first met Lil Baby, and how did that come about?
So that actually came about through 40 and Drake. At the time, the pandemic hit hard in Toronto, so it was very slow. And they had actually reached out, Lil Baby had reached out to Drake at the time, just saying he needed a new engineer. He needed someone just to kind of, keep track of his files, just make sure everything was sorted. Because, like I was saying, they were moving around a lot and, working out of different studios, working with a bunch of different engineers. And especially an artist at that status, like, you really need to make sure that, like, your sessions are guarded. That's the most important thing. So,
Yeah.
And obviously moving around with an engineer that understands your sound. It's quick. You get in the studio. There's no setup. Like, they know exactly how you need it to sound. It's not, trying to figure it out with different people all the time. So that's how it came about that he reached out to Drake. Drake talking to 40 saying, who do we think is a good fit? And they both kind of agreed, like, yo, I think we should send Angie. It would be a really dope opportunity for her. So he had ended up just reaching out to me, said, you know what, like, Lil Baby really wants to work with you. When could you go to Atlanta? That's kind of just how it started. And I was like, ASAP, like, let's go, let's do it. So he ended up he was so nice. He flew me to Atlanta. And I was staying up at a hotel over there. And he was like, it started off just like 3-4 days. He's like, just go out there, see if you guys even vibe with each other, start working with him a little bit and just see what's up. And, we went for a few days. Lil Baby actually reached out to Drake after and was like, okay, yeah, she's dope. Like, extend her trip like another week. So we ended up, I was still at that same hotel. We were working for another week. Again, same thing. No, extend her trip. So we just kept extending it. And then at that point, he's like, you know what? He's like, we're locked in. We're going to keep going. We had just started the next tour at that point. So he's like, we're locked in. You're coming on tour with me. And then at that point, I hadn't looked back. Like, I was in the States pretty much the entire time. It's been like a whole year straight that I was just in the States, just locked in working.
That's so awesome.
Wow. And have you had a little bit of a break since?
I just got a break. The time, like I was saying, when I had gone to Toronto for like a couple days, just when we had got back from Europe, I just had to, work on some little paperwork and stuff. So I ended up going to Canada for a little bit. And that was like the first break. If not, like holidays, everything, Christmas, everything, I had spent it really just here working. It was so funny too. Like Christmas Day, I was getting called at like 6 a.m. on the 25th. And they're like, Slime wants to record. Like, can you pull up to his house now? I was like, oh man, like even on Christmas, these guys are locked in. It's so dope to see.
Oh, there it is. It's time. It's time for that part of the show.
It is.
Angie, I'm really sorry to do this to you mid-conversation, but this is the part of the show that we call the album interlude section. Essentially, all that means is you got 60 seconds to answer as many quickfire questions as possible. And you're actually the last guest on the show, so we're going to tally up the score at the end and see how you fared against the other guests we've had on the show. How's that sound?
Damn, pressure's up. Let's get it.
There it is. There it is. Okay, without any further ado, your time starts now. Atlanta or LA?
Ooh, LA.
Analog or digital?
Oh, both. But okay, analog. I'm gonna go quick. I gotta stop.
Favorite fast food joint?
Oh shit. I feel like one of those healthy ones. I don't know, I'm too big on fast food like that.
Fair enough.
Headphones or monitors?
Monitors.
Okay, Netflix or cinema?
Ooh, Netflix.
Mixing or tracking?
Both, but maybe tracking.
What's your studio snack?
Oh, damn, like probably some fruit. Honestly, nothing too crazy.
Favorite EQ?
Ooh, a mag or a Pultec?
Streaming or vinyl?
Oh man, that's okay. Well, streaming. Let's go with streaming.
All right, favorite compressor?
Ooh, a CL1B Mark II.
Favorite sport?
Basketball.
Favorite Avid plugin?
Ooh, lo-fi, weirdly enough.
Oh, Coca Fanta.
Ooh, Fanta.
Oh, and that's your time done.
I feel like the timer went just before, but
we can give her that one.
we might have to give her that
Did
one.
you say Fanta?
How many?
Yeah, it's a Fanta.
Oh, then yeah, we got to give her that one. That's
How
mine.
many did she tally up now? That's the
I counted 14, but
14. You know what? We're going to have to take one out because you didn't actually answer it. The fast food joint one.
Oh, so
Yeah.
13.
All right, Angie, we have counted the scores and we have got some results in here. And for all of our viewers and listeners watching, listeners and viewers watching rather, so we're going to start in third place, okay? The person who came third with 10 eligible answers, just to be clear, some points have been taken off people for answering both or, you know, very vague answers. So we've taken points off for those. In third place, we have the boy Danny Asadi with 10 points. Round of applause, please. Everyone in the audience, please. Round of applause. In second place, with 11 points, there's two people in second place. Joint second place. We have Lost Boy and the man Tony Sukar. So that's joint second with 11 points. Round of applause. Hey, everyone in the crowd, please come on. Show some appreciation,
Massive
please.
crowd we have here.
Come on. Not all at once though. All right, everyone chill out. And in joint first place, we have, drum roll please, crowd please. David Youngin Kim and your girl Angie Randisi. I mean, we could actually say we've saved the best till last because she's, you know, arguably and David Kim was second from last, so we've saved the two winners till the last two episodes of the season. Wow, it's meant to be. Angie, we're going to have to sort you and David out with a care package from Avid for being joint first. We should maybe get them to do like a little rap battle or something. Maybe.
Oh, a rap battle, you know. Wow.
I'm with it.
Wow.
Just to get one winner out of it. But no, we'll send you both an Avid Pro Tools themed care package. Let's call it that.
That's dope. That's the best care package. Thank you.
Hey,
Nice.
you already know it. But yeah, thank you for that, and sorry for breaking the conversation like that. But we can jump back into the questions now.
Yeah.
Dope.
So tell us about some of the projects you're working on now. Then I know you guys have just been on tour. But yeah, so tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so the biggest one we're working, obviously now, like I've been working with a lot of the 4PF guys, but like the main project we're working on is Baby's project. Obviously, It's like a long-awaited album, so we're just wrapping that up right now. You already know kind of everything that goes into getting that done. So
Nice.
But with tour, it has put a little bit of like a delay, of course, but it's really, like I was saying before, just being able to set up wherever we're at, just making them as comfortable as possible, and this way we can just knock it out, as quickly, smoothly as possible.
So I have a little question about tour. Now, the reason why I'm going to ask is I haven't actually wrote it down, so I'm actually going to go top of my head for this one.
Okay, cool.
And I feel like, Angie, you could really answer this perfectly, right? So a lot of us go to festivals and, we might go to a few, like, one after the other, whatever, and we're tired, right? But as someone who's with the artist and you're touring and little things like eating good and stuff like that, just being on the tour life, how is that kind of for you? And because obviously I'm talking to like a new generation of people who are kind of aspiring engineers, producers. How do you still feel so kind of like
In control.
Yeah, like your energy and kind of like does it drop, or how do you keep it still going? Because obviously you're going left, right, center from country to country.
Yeah.
How do you
it must
eat
be
good?
hard.
That's
and
the
how do
hardest.
you eat good? Yeah. Do you like have a personal trainer with you at the same time? Is it like a certain thing, or how does it?
That would be great. I wish, honestly. It's definitely tough because like I'm super big into like nutrition, like trying to work out all the time. When you're on road and you're up for like 4 or 5 days straight, like no sleep, it's really hard to kind of balance like a normal healthy nutrition with just being up all the time. And you know how like engineers' life is regardless, like you'd be sleeping in the studio all the time and then get up, tour bus, get to the venue, finish the show, back on the bus, next city. Like, you're just boom, boom, boom on the go all the time, which is dope, though. Because I'm like, hell yeah. Like, I'm young. This is the time I'm going to do it, right?
Yeah.
But it is important to definitely find that balance. I'm still trying to figure out how to find that balance, to be honest. But
Wow.
Yeah, it must be difficult. But for me, it's like there'd be so many opportunities just to eat some like incredibly dirty fast food, but it's just so tempting at the same time to just be like, all right, I'll just go for it today. It'll be fine. Tomorrow I'll have a salad.
yeah, it'd be like that, though, because especially it's like, I'll be locked in working, and then I'll look at the time. I'm like, damn, it's like 3-4 in the morning. I hadn't eaten nothing all day, and like, what's open at 3 in the morning? Nothing. You're not getting, anything healthy at that time. So it's like,
Oh
damn.
my god, yeah.
It's like really just trying. That's what I was saying. Like, fast food, if I can avoid it, hell yeah, I am. Because
I bet.
Yeah. Do you cook, Angie, as well?
yeah, I love cooking.
Nice.
Yeah,
I love
definitely.
that.
What's your go-to dish?
It's a bunch of stuff. Like, I'm Italian, so like my specialty is
sick.
definitely just making Italian food. But it's like I'll pretty much make everything.
Fair.
I've cooked like from really, really young. So I grew up just like cooking with my mom, my grandmother. So I learned a lot from them. But then like, I just like trying new things too. So I'm always just whipping up something
I
in the
just
kitchen.
realized we forgot a very important question for the quickfire round.
Yeah.
Pizza or pasta?
Oh.
Oh, pizza or pot? Damn.
It's $1 million
Okay.
What,
question
to
for an
to
Italian.
make or to
Both.
eat? Ooh.
Oh.
Both.
I mean, to make, like, when we make pizza, like, anything, pizza or pasta, it's like
Yeah,
homemade.
right.
I'm rolling the dough out. Like, I'm making that shit from scratch. But, yeah,
Nice.
like, tomatoes from the garden, fresh basil
Nice.
from the garden, you making that sauce. Like,
Okay.
that's how, like, I always came up doing it. But, yeah, no, honest, I love pizza. But, I mean, I'm Italian. That's, like, an impossible question to ask an Italian.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's why I asked it. So pizza's the answer, though, yeah? Just for clarification, just for the viewers and listeners out there.
Luckily, you didn't do it in the speed round because I would have got stumped on that question.
Yeah.
I would have easily lost.
That's true. So I just want to ask a little bit now to like a new generation of people getting involved in music, right? So there's a lot of stories that we've heard before. I mean, I heard one the other day about a lady who started making beats on like GarageBand on her iPad, and now she's like a DJ that's actually touring, getting paid for it. And she was like a 64-year-old woman, and now she's touring, which is amazing to hear. But what advice do you have, Angie, for like a new generation or someone new into music? Like, because obviously you've had a great kind of story, and obviously I can imagine, as glamorous it sounds now, there was probably times where you was like, damn, this is really hard, and you've obviously probably may have thought, you know what, I'm done. This is really tough, or like this is hard. But what advice would you give to someone starting out? They want to get into engineering or mixing or tracking or work with a big artist, and what's your kind of advice that you'd give to them?
I think you gotta just want it bad enough. Like, you gotta just be hungry for it. Like you said, like, it looks glamorous, especially as an engineer. You guys notice, like, it's not glamorous. It's a lot of work. It's crazy hours. You're on call all the time. Like, you're up for days straight. Like, I be sleeping in the studio. It's like, it's not a glamorous life. So I think a lot of people gotta realize that, like, when they step into it, there's a lot that goes in. It's a lot of sacrifice too. Like, trips I be planning with friends and stuff. Like, in the future, I never know when I can actually leave. Holidays, like I was saying, like, there's a lot of stuff you end up missing, which is unfortunate, but that just comes with the work. Like, especially working with a big artist, you got to prioritize right now. Like, they got a lot on their plate. They got a lot of stuff going on. So you really got to be able to, like, kind of pick up and just keep up with that pace. So I think that, my bad. Go ahead.
Sorry, no, you're good. I was going to say, what advice would you give to people, trying to get along with someone that they're trying to work with? Is there a key personality trait that you need to have to be able to get along with those people?
I think that's a really important thing too. Like, I learned that even from 40, it was the biggest thing. Like, just starting off, and even just starting as an intern was really like, start off, be very quiet, know how to read a room.
Yeah. Because
obviously, like, being a ninja in Pro Tools is hella important. Like, you first off, on like a technical side, like, you got to know your shit inside and out, and you got to just be quick with it, be able to understand different artists' workflow. I think if you're working with different artists, just being able to kind of pick up on their workflow like quickly and understanding how they like to work, so that's just the biggest thing. And a lot of it comes down to, apart from the technical side, is just the vibe. Like, you got to just be able to like be a people person. People got to genuinely like you, because music is really based on the vibe. So if you walk into a room and you throw off that vibe, people feel it.
Yeah, I think that,
So I
that,
think
that knowing how to read the room is really important as well.
Oh,
Because if you go in
100%.
there making too much noise, people are going to look at you like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, like, especially that was just when I was starting, was really that, like, keep my head down, just focus, work. Like, I'm still like that. Like, I won't say too much. Like, I'll be the quietest person in the room, but I'll get it done.
Wow.
So that's kind of like really what's, I guess, has taken me the furthest, was just the fact of like, stay quiet and just do really good work.
Yeah, that's
That's
important.
amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Angie, listen, thank you so much for coming on this show. It's been awesome talking to you, and ever so inspirational to hear your story as well. And I hope that you continue on to do some great things. And yeah, thanks again so much for joining us today.
Thank you guys. This was a lot of fun. Thank you so much.
Angie, thank you so much for sharing your story. And like I was saying, like just hearing stories like this is just so impactful on the new generation, and it's just important to hear, because like I said, sometimes it looks glamorous, sometimes this basically just messed that up. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Pause there for a second. It's just important to get your voice out and to share your kind of opinions on the industry and how you've been working and your kind of process to get to where you've got to, basically. So we thank you, the whole of the team, Avid.
Yeah.
Thanks you.
Yeah, behind all the plaques are a lot of hard work and
Exactly.
Yeah. You can see
a lot
it.
of grafting, a lot of late nights.
Yeah. But yeah,
sure.
thanks again for being our last guest for season 1. That's super inspirational for us, and we hope to do this for another season as well. But to have it finished off by the likes of yourself again, it's been amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Angie.
guys so much. I'm excited for season 2.
Let's go.
She
Yeah,
said
it. Thank you everybody for watching this episode and listening. Or listening. And we hope to see you guys in season 2, which will be even bigger and better. And yeah, thank you so much for following us so far, and we hope you've enjoyed every episode. Anything else you want to say, G?
No, thank you so much, guys. Season 1's been great. I want to take a moment just to thank the video crew. We've had Sean Palmer, who's been an amazing guy, who's been shooting our videos and helping us out as well. So I just want to say massive stuff, because it's not easy. The back end of production stuff is never easy. So thank you so much. And all our listeners
And all of our incredible audience, of course.
and audience as well, the viewers,
audience.
of course. Everyone, guys, thank you so much. We hope to see you soon, and take care.
Take care, everybody.
See ya. Bye-bye.
Bye.